We are now at page 42. Last headword was downsize, new work type of lesson. So let's start
Okay.
with our revision. Okay, let me just scroll down. Okay, here we go. First question.
Okay.
When we refer to somebody as a client rather than a customer, what can it often imply? When we refer to somebody as a client rather than a customer, what can it often imply? When we refer to
When we
somebody
refer
as a
to
client
somebody as a
rather than a
client
customer,
rather than a
it can
customer,
often
it
imply
can often
that the
imply
person is
that the
paying us
person is
for a service,
paying us the services.
paying us for a service
Okay, paying us for services
rather than a physical
rather
product,
than a physical
and
product,
that perhaps we
and that
have an
perhaps we
ongoing
have an
business relationship
ongoing business
with
relationship
them.
with them.
Very good. One more. When we refer to
When we
somebody
refer
as a
to
client
somebody as a
rather than
client
a customer,
rather than a
it can
customer,
often
it
imply
can often
that the
imply
person is
that the
paying us
person is
for a service
us paying us for services
rather than a physical product,
rather than a physical
and that
product,
perhaps we have
and
an
that perhaps
ongoing
we have
business
an
relationship
ongoing
with them.
big relationship with them.
Very good. Who would be more likely to call someone a client, a lawyer, or a shop owner? Who would be more likely to call someone a client, a lawyer, or a shop owner? A lawyer would be
A
more
lawyer
likely
would be more
to call
likely
someone a
to
client
call someone a
than a
client
shop owner.
than a shop owner.
Very good. What does the abbreviation R&D stand for? What does the abbreviation R&D
What does
stand for?
R&D stands
The
for?
abbreviation
The
R&D
abbreviation
stands for
R&D stands for
research and
research
development.
and development.
In which area do you think R&D work is most important? Farming, medicine, or education?
Medicine
In
education.
which area do you think R&D work is most important? Farming, medicine, or education? I think
I
R&D
think
work
R&D
is most
works is
important
most
in medicine.
important in medicine.
Very good. How can the marketing department of a company help the R&D
Helps
department?
the R&D
How
department.
can the marketing department of a company help the R&D department? The marketing department of a
The
company
marketing department of a
can
company
help the R&D
can
department
help the R&D
by
department
providing it with
by
data on
providing it
consumer
with
demand,
data on
product
consumer
sales,
demand,
etc.
product sales, etc.
Very good. Okay, next. After traveling abroad to attend a conference, what kind of expenses do people claim for? After traveling
Do
abroad to
people claim
attend a
for?
conference, what kind of expenses do people claim for? After traveling abroad
After traveling
to
abroad
attend a conference, people claim expenses.
to attend a
Okay, one more.
conference,
After traveling
okay,
abroad to attend a conference,
after traveling abroad to
people
attend
claim
a conference,
expenses such as the cost of
people claim
flights,
expenses such
accommodation,
as the cost
meals,
of flights,
etc.
accommodations, meals, etc.
Okay, very good. One more. One moment. Let me reconnect. Okay. Okay, very good. One more.
Okay,
After
okay.
traveling abroad
After traveling
to
abroad
attend a
to
conference,
attend a
people
conference,
claim
people
expenses
claim the
such as the
expenses
cost of
such as the
flights,
cost of flights,
accommodations, meal,
accommodations,
etc.
meals, etc.
Very good. During a conference call, how can we avoid the confusion of not knowing whose voice we're listening to? During a conference call, how can we avoid the confusion of not knowing whose voice we're listening to? During a conference call,
During a conference
we can
call,
avoid the
we can
confusion
avoid the
of not
confusion
knowing
of
whose
not
voice
knowing
we're
who
listening
is
to
we are listening to
by asking
by
everyone to
asking
say their
everyone
name
to say
each
their
time they
name
speak.
each time they speak.
Very good. What are the inputs of a business such as a clothes factory? What are the inputs of a business such as a clothes factory? The inputs of
The
a business
inputs
such
of a
as a
business,
clothes
such as
factory,
a clothes
are cloth
factory,
and other raw
clothes,
materials, labor,
sorry,
electricity, etc.
sorry,
Okay, one more. The inputs
yeah,
of a business
of a
such
business,
as a clothes factory.
of a clothes factory.
Okay, one moment. Let me reconnect. I think we're having a delay. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, here we go. The
okay.
inputs of a business Okay. What are
input of a business,
such as clothes factory or
such as clothes
clothes and
factory,
other raw
clothes,
materials,
and other raw materials,
labor, electricity,
labor,
etc.
electricity, etc.
Much better. And what are the outputs? What are the outputs? The outputs
The
are the
outputs
finished
are
clothes
the finished
that the
clothes
factory
that the
produces.
factory produces.
Very good. Why might an employer decide to give a particular employee a bonus? Why might an employer decide to give a particular employee a bonus? An employer might
An
decide
employer
to give
might
a
decide to
particular
give a
employee a
particular
bonus
employee a bonus
because their personal
because
input
their personal
has
input
been very
has
valuable
been
to the
very
company.
valuable to the
They have
company.
achieved a difficult
They
target,
have achieved a difficult
etc.
target, etc.
Very good. What do we mean by freelance worker? What do we mean by a freelance worker? By freelance worker,
By freelance
we mean a
worker,
self
we
employed
mean a
person
self-employed
who
person
offers their
who
services
offers
to
their services
companies.
to companies.
Very good. Why might a small company sometimes prefer to appoint a freelancer rather than take on a
As a
permanent staff member?
permanent staff member.
Why might a small company sometimes prefer to appoint a freelancer rather than take on a permanent staff member?
Permanent staff
A
member.
small company might
A small
sometimes
company
prefer
might sometimes
to appoint
prefer
a
to
freelancer
appoint a
rather
freelancer
than take on
rather
a
than
permanent
take
staff
on a
member
permanent staff member,
because appointing
because
freelancers
appointing
allows a
freelancers
company to
allows a
expand
company
and
to
contract
expand and
more easily
contract more
according to how
easily
much work
according to how
is
much work
available and
is
therefore
available
control
and
labor
therefore
costs.
control labor costs.
When planning a marketing campaign in a foreign country, is it important to take into account the customs, language, and culture
Customs,
of that
language,
country?
and culture of
When
the country.
planning a marketing campaign in a foreign country, is it important to take into account the customs, language, and culture of that country? Yes, when planning
Yes,
a marketing
when planning
campaign
a marketing
in a
campaign
foreign country,
in a foreign
it's
country,
important to take
it's
into account
important to take into
the
account
customs, language, and
the
culture of
customs,
that country.
languages, and cultures of that country.
Why? Why do you think so? Because
Because um, the culture, the culture, the culture of a variety of countries are different.
mhm,
Yeah, so we should choose a suitable marketing way
according
to
to their
their
custom.
country,
That's correct. Very good. That's correct.
according to their custom here.
That's correct. Very excellent. Okay. Next, do all goods imported into your country have to go through customs? Do all goods imported into your country have to go through customs? Yes or no?
Yes,
All goods imported
all
into my
goods
country have
imported
to go
into
through
my country
customs.
has to go through customs.
Very good. One moment. Let me reconnect again. Okay. Very good. So let's continue.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
When the when the present numerical data when we present numerical data to people,
To
why do
people,
we often use a chart or
the
graph
chart or
rather than
graph
just
rather
show the
than just
data in
show
a
the
table?
data in a table.
When we present numerical data to people, why do we often use a chart or graph rather than just show the data in the table?
Data in the table.
When we present
When we
numerical
present a
data to
numerical
people,
data to
we often
people,
use a
we
chart
often use
or
a chart
graph
or
rather
graph
than show
rather than
the
show
data in a
the
table
data in a
because
table
it can be
because it
easier to
can be
understand
easier to understand
numerical data when
numerical
it's
data
displayed
when
in a
it's
chart
displayed
or
in a
graph.
chart or graph.
Which two ways of displaying information are best for showing how data varies over
Data
time?
varies over
Which
time.
two ways of displaying information are best for showing how data varies over time? Line graphs and bar graph
Line
are
graphs
best
and
for
bar
showing
graph
how data
are best
varies
for
over
showing
time.
how data varies over time.
And which of those graphic forms would you choose if you wanted to display a trend over a long period, for example, in property
For
prices?
example, in
And
property
which of
prices.
those graphic forms would you choose if you wanted to display a trend over a long period? For example, in property prices, I choose line
I
graph
choose
if I
line graph
wanted to display a
if
trend
I wanted
over
to
a long
display
period.
a trend
For
over a
example,
long
in
period.
property
For
prices.
example, in property prices.
Why? Why do you think so? Because
Because
line
if
graph.
I want, if line graph is suitable for expressing the time trend
The time
for a
trend.
long time.
That's correct. For a longer time, for years, months, like that. Very good.
Yes, yes.
Next, what's a pie chart useful for? What's a pie chart useful for? A pie chart's
A pie
useful
charts
for
useful
comparing relative
for comparing
quantities
relative
for a
quantities
small number of
for a small
categories.
number of categories.
Where, which displays method would we use to show the result of a survey asking the
Survey
public which of
asking the
five particular
public
products they like most?
they like
Which
most.
display methods could we use to show the result of a survey asking the public which of five particular products they like most? We could use a pie
We could
chart,
use a pie
a bar
chart,
chart, or a
a bar
table
chart, or
to
a
show the
table
results
to show
of
the
a
result
survey
of a
asking the
survey
public
asking the
which of
public
five particular
which of
products
five particular
they like
products
most.
they like most.
Right, and of those three methods, which would most clearly show the percentage of customers that
Percent of
preferred
customers
each product?
prefer each
And of
product.
those three methods, which would most clearly show the percentage of customers that preferred each product? Of those three
Of
methods,
those three
a
methods,
pie chart
a
would
pie
most
chart
clearly
would
show
most clearly
the
show
percentage of
the percentage
customers
of
that
customers
preferred each
that
product.
prefer each product.
Very good. What do we mean by a flow chart? What do we mean by a flow chart? By a flow chart,
By a
we mean
flowchart,
a
we
diagram
mean a
that
diagram
shows the different
that shows the
events
different
or
events
stages in a
or
process.
stages
In a process.
in a process.
Very good. One more. By a flow
In a
chart.
process. By a
Okay. One
flowchart,
more. One moment. Okay, there we go. By a
okay.
flow chart,
By a
we mean
flowchart,
a
we mean
diagram
a
that
diagram
shows the
that
different
shows the
events
different events
or stages in a
or
process.
stages in a process.
Right? Give me an example of something we could show in a flow chart. Give me an example of something we could show in a flow chart, please. We could show a
We could
recruitment
show a
selection process
recruitment selection
in a flow
process
chart.
in a flowchart.
Very good. When somebody loses their job as a
This is
result of
job
a
as a
company
result
needing
of
to
a company
downsize,
needing to
do we say the
downsize.
person has
Do
been
the
sacked
person
or made
let's hack
redundant?
or make
When
redundant?
somebody loses their job as a result of a company
As a
needing
result
to
of a company
downsize,
needing to
do we say the
downsize,
person has been sacked or made redundant?
sack or made
When
redundant.
somebody loses their
When
job
somebody loses
as a
their jobs
result of a
as a
company
result of a
needing to
company
downsize,
needing to
we say the
downsize,
person
we
has
say the
been made
person
redundant.
has
Has been made redundant.